Avowed review. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this took me a long time to create, and actually right now what you are hearing is me starting over for the third time. But I realized that I'm not that good with words, so why use many words when less words do better? So here's how this is going to go. I'm just gonna give you my review of Avowed because I had the opportunity to play it through a friend because he bought it on Steam and I asked him to let me play it and he was kind enough to let me do that. And I have a few problems with this game, and actually it's not a few problems, it's quite a lot of problems, and thus I want to give you my review of this. Also, two things to mention. Again, I did not buy this game. Second, I played it for about 2 to 4 hours. I know that's not enough to get a full feel for the game, but to be honest, if 2 hours is the limit, you know, playtime, which allows you to basically refund the game, well, I think it's enough, right? I played it almost twice as much. So, first of all, I just want to read you a few lines from the Steam store page to, I guess, set the stage kind of, a little bit. So here's how it goes. Welcome to the Living Lands, a mysterious island filled with adventure and danger, set in the fictional world of Eora that was first introduced to players in the Pillars of the Eternity franchise. Avowed is a first-person fantasy action RPG from the award-winning team at Obsidian Entertainment. A little bit of glazzy glazing, and it feels like they're trying to make up for something that they lack, but that might be me. The Living Lands is an island where the air hums with ancient magic, the flora seems to move with a mind of its own, and the ground beneath your feet shifts with secrets waiting to be unearthed. Unearthed? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And just one more. Now the Living Lands faces a dire threat. A mysterious plague that defies nature and reason, spreading chaos across its sprawling wilderness. Yeah, a pretty bog standard story, I'd say, you know. Ooh, mysterious plague, get to the bottom of this. And also there's something with crystals connecting you to some god entity, you know, this game has godlikes. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not pay much attention to the story or to the dialogue at all because I was trying to see how the gameplay felt, and yeah. But first of all, let's talk about character creation. It's mediocre. I don't really like it. I don't really like character creations just in general. I'd rather be given, you know, a protagonist and play with that protagonist and, I don't know, give me the choice to change their clothes or stuff like that, you know? That's a much better way for me at least, but that's just me. However, one thing that I noticed is that all of the options and presets, faces, whatever, look like ass. And it reminded me of something that I saw early on today, which was, you know, I'm gonna pull it up on screen for you to read it, but the fact that some critics, some magazines can say, hey, the Chinese need to consult in the West, right? To be able to, I don't know, build female characters that stand out. No, just let them be. Just the characters that they made, that white woman that you see on the screen right now, she's gorgeous. And if I look at Avowed, Dragon Age the Veilguard, and a lot of games, your women look like ass. They stand out for all of the wrong reasons. But without me derailing any further, yeah, the character creation is standard, it's okay, I don't really like it. Let's switch it up and talk about something very big, you know, the combat, which is annoying as heck. But before I get into that, first of all, you have a lot of weapons to choose from. You have a lot of armor sets, which is nice. Weapons feel somewhat nice, you know, you have one-handed melee, two-handed, you have ranged, you have wands, you have a grimoire with spells and whatnot. It's actually kind of fun. The animations are okay, they're not, you know, out of this world, they are not groundbreaking, but they're fun, you know. Although some of them can be a little wacky, and I'm talking about that one-handed axe heavy animation, which is, yes, Slay Queen. It's amusing, but I don't know, it feels a little, it feels like they're not taking it seriously, to be honest. But let's get into the annoying part of the combat. Well, the combat is fast-paced. Playing as a ranged, you know, character, let's say, as a ranged player, a ranged enjoyer, it's kind of hard because you have your companion, and your companions, whenever they hit an enemy, the enemy kind of flinches, and you might miss a lot of headshots. Now, again, this might be a me problem, but what I think is not a me problem is the fact that because the game is somewhat fast-paced when it comes to combat, well, you're gonna have enemies that start, you know, an animation attack, right? They start to attack you, but you can see that they are, I don't know, 10 feet in front of you, and you're like, okay, you hit me with that attack early on, it's just a simple melee attack, right? A light attack. You're 10 feet away, there's no way you're gonna hit me, so there's no point in dodging. I'm just gonna, I don't know, sidestep or do something like that. You cannot, because no matter the attack that an enemy uses, if it's melee, there's a 90% chance that it's gonna be a lunge attack, right? He's gonna lunge at you, which is so annoying because you cannot sidestep it, you cannot run away from it, you basically just get hit, right? 90% of the time. There might be, I don't know, a small chance that he misses or whatever, but the point that I'm trying to make is this. This combat feels ugh. The way the enemy lunges at you reminds me of Cyberpunk and the melee enemies, which are annoying because you can see they are, you know, swinging at you, they are not near to you, right, in order to be able to actually hit you. So what the game does is basically just, I don't know, teleports them to you, lunges them to you without any animation, you know, they just phase next to you and they hit you. I mean, it's just annoying. Look at Skyrim. Whenever an enemy does, I don't know, a heavy attack with a two-handed weapon, they basically start the attack and then they kind of, you know, skedaddle their way towards you. And that kind of tells you, hey, this attack is gonna do some damage, maybe avoid it, block it, or be prepared to take the hit, I don't know. In Cyberpunk, in this game, it's just annoying because, as I said, you think they're gonna miss, but no, they're not gonna miss. They are just gonna lock onto you and lunge at you, even though the animation does not suggest that, and you might be saying, hey, you get an indicator, that's childish. I do not need an indicator to see when an enemy attacks me, because your attack does not suggest, hey, I don't know, the enemy is gonna jump 10 feet towards you with this attack that he did earlier, but when he did it earlier, he did not jump such a long distance. I don't know, it's just annoying. And the combat overall is just... The combat was designed to be the way it is, just to be able to justify a dodge mechanic, which is just annoying. I mean, just do it the way that Skyrim did it, right? Make it so that the enemy, they can sprint during that heavy attack, but you can just, I don't know, sidestep it, just move back and not get hit, you know? Just use a blocking system. You don't need a dodging system because everyone wants a dodging system. No, you do not need to have this. And yeah, all in all, the combat is just annoying for me, you know? I'm sure there's a lot of players that like that style of combat, but even though there's the feeling of weight behind every single attack, the fact that it's so fast-paced, enemies can lock onto you and they can just hit you unless you dodge, and if you do not dodge, you try to sidestep, oh well, you get hit. That annoys the hell out of me. Next, the looting system is okay, but why does it come out of the box with, you know, everything enabled for you to be able to see on the minimap? All of the loot, all of the plants or whatever, all of the enemies that you normally do not know where they are. You can see everything. This game feels like it was made for toddlers, you know? What about the stealth system? Well, I don't know why they even bothered with it, because it's that kind of stealth system where basically, oh, hide in tall grass. Oh, you can sneak around the enemies because they are blind. I mean, that's kind of it. The hide in tall grass mechanic is so cringy. And the fact that the grass, when you look at it, it's so small. Yet when you crouch, you actually fit in it. It's a bit confusing. I don't really like it. Sure, you can execute enemies from behind, but whenever you do that, you're gonna alert the other enemies rather quick. And it's just pointless, to be honest. Just go in there, run and gun, smash the space button. Sure, you're gonna run out of stamina, but at least you won't get hit. The stealth and the combat system are ass. Let's move on to crafting, you know, it's an RPG, it's a fantasy game. How about the crafting? Bare bones, standard, nothing that notable. Same with, you know, upgrading with your equipment. I don't know why, but people kept singing this game's praises, saying that, ooh, I was able to scratch my Skyrim itch with this game. Well, the crafting system, I don't like it. The upgrading system, I don't like it. It's bare bones, it's nothing that, ooh, nice. And when I look at Skyrim, I don't know why, but that crafting system, even though it's kind of similar, same with the upgrading system, it's way better, I don't know why. You know, and it's such a big difference and such a long time in between, you know, 14 years, my friend. 14 years between these two games. And some people compare it to Skyrim. I mean, there was one review that summed it up the best. $70, and yes, this game costs $70. Going back to the review, $70? No thank you, just get Skyrim and mod it. Yeah, that's it. This game is just... The graphics, they look okay, but because it's Unreal Engine 5, a lot of games use it, it's not gonna stand out all that much. What about the movement? Well, the movement is okay, you can traverse the land rather quick, but let me tell you, the world design, the land design is kind of chaotic. There's a lot of cliffs, a lot of jumps. It's a bit... I don't really like it. I like how, you know, Skyrim was rather plain, you know, it was not that chaotic with the world design. If you wanted to go towards the mountains, you had a steady climb towards it. In Avowed, well, everything is so chaotic. You have the high ground, the level ground, below ground, everything is so discombobulating, I don't know. Let's move on to something way more important, you know, the skills. And again, unfortunately, it's not something that stands out to me. Again, it might be because I only played for at most 4 hours, but still, I don't see how the skills can save the game, you know? Because the combat sucks. Because the stealth system sucks, because the graphics are not that wow. I mean, the location of the prologue is so it's okay, I guess. And the fact that in the prologue you talk with a lot of NPCs, you talk with a few NPCs, but because those dialogue interactions take so long, it's so annoying. It's immersion breaking, you know? You're trying to fight enemies, you fight the enemies, then you talk for 5 years. Really, can't I just finish the prologue and then we can talk, you know? Then you can tell me what's going on, or if we're gonna talk, you know, at first. Jesus Christ, don't make it a 5-minute scene where I have 7 dialogue prompts with 2 to 5 options and a lot of attributes checks, you know? If you have 10 intellects, ooh, you've unlocked a new dialogue path, how exciting. Yet it does nothing, because it's just the start of the game, it's meaningless. And yeah, that's kind of the dialogue interactions, and the dialogue in general, they kind of suck. It takes way too much time, there's too many attribute checks. It's like, again, they're trying to justify a system, a mechanic. And at last, companions, let's talk about that. Companions are annoying. The scripts, the voiceovers, the lines are just okay, I guess. It's your typical cringe RPG fantasy voice lines. Yes, that's kind of it, you know. And that's kind of it for Avowed. I know I did not talk about everything, you know, every single aspect of the game, all of the mechanics, but to be honest, do you really want a review about a game that's mediocre? You know, the only good thing that I can see in this game is the graphics, but because it uses Unreal Engine 5, it does not stand out in any way, shape or form. You know, it's just another run-of-the-mill Unreal Engine 5 game, and that's kind of it. The gameplay sucks, combat sucks, crafting system is boring and is bland. Same with the character creation. I mean, I didn't even pick on the fact that it's a DEI game a little bit, you know, because the game is so mediocre, you know. I mean, you can look at my previous videos to see how much I despise, you know, the woke agenda and how aggressive it is and how far they would go to push it in the gaming industry. But to be honest with Avowed, it's like, okay, the game is way too mediocre for me to even care about the DEI factors. It's just that. So I'm just gonna end it here, because to be honest, I could be rambling and ranting into the sunset, I don't know, forever, because there's a lot of things that I can say about Avowed, but the fact of the matter is that this game is pretty mediocre. If people like it, that's okay, but personally I really don't like it. I don't see where all of the positivity is coming from, but I'm not gonna be the hater to, you know, to stand out and say, hey, hate this game because I hate it. No, I just don't like it. If you like it, go play it, right? But keep in mind, $70 for a mediocre game in 2025. It took 4 years to develop, 6 if you count the, you know, ooh, they might have started in 2018 rumors or whatever. Yeah, it's just disgusting, it's just disgraceful, it's just lazy, if you ask me. I just do not like it, I just do not see the point of it, and hey, I just hope that this video can at least help you decide whether or not you should play, and if you should pay the very premium price for a mediocre game. And before I go, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for not uploading in quite a while, but I had some family events going on and I had to participate, so I apologize for that. And the only thing that I can wish you right now is a good day, good night, good morning, whatever it is. I really hope it's good, because I have to admit I'm pretty disappointed. I did not jump on the hype train, I did not see any gameplay of Avowed, I just saw a few images and I was like, maybe it's gonna be good. Then I saw the DEI factors and I was like, okay, it's gonna be one of those games. But to my surprise, it was just mediocre. So, sending you smooches, and goodbye, my dear.